There's a whole menu dedicated to actually follow the orders on your PrestaShop, and this is something that we're going to dedicate this particular video tutorial on, and we'll go through the orders menu. Orders menu is actually right below the catalog menu, so there it is, and once you actually click on orders, you'll be presented by default with this particular page, and you can see that this is actually the orders link here. Like before, we'll have some actual information right at the top. There's the conversion rate in the last 30 days, abandoned carts here today, and the average order value in the last 30 days, net profit per visitor in the last 30 days. Once again, I'm just running a demo website, a demo online store, and therefore I have all zeros here, but I think it's a good way to actually go ahead and actually see how this actually represents what's going on. Right at the top we have the actual menu here, so we can go and add a new order, and we have the recommended modules like we had before, and the actual help button here. Okay, moving down, the first thing we'll see that currently I have 7 orders, and those are displayed in the actual table just beneath. You can see that I have the ID there, the reference, new client, delivery, customer, total amount, the payment, so this is the payment method, the current status, so whether I'm waiting a check payment or there's a payment error, this will actually give you the options there. I have the date, I have some sort of PDF if you like to view it, and you can see that there's actually the view option here as well. Okay, so let's go through one of those. So let's go with this one here. Also, there is the bulk menu action here as well, so I can select more than 2, so for example 3, and I can actually go and change all the status on those, or I can just hit on unselect all. Alright, so I said let's have a look at, for example, order number 3. First of all, there's some sort of a reference. New client 0, meaning that this is not a new client, and basically you have yes or no. Yes would represent a 1 and no would represent a 2. So for this particular case, my client is not a new client. The delivery is to be made to France, and I have the actual customer name here. I have the amount which this person is purchasing for. So for example, this is $76 and 76 euros and 1 euro cent, and the payment will be done by check, and I'm still waiting for this check payment to be made. The date is given here, and I have the option to view this particular order here. So it's quite straightforward, and you can actually follow all of your orders like this. This will be auto populated, so once a customer logs in and finds something they would like to buy, they go through the process of buying it. The order will be displayed here, and actually you can view it. Okay, once again we have the small icons menu here to add, to export, and to actually refresh. Okay, let's move down to invoices now. As the name suggests, this will actually give you the information about the invoices. The very first option here is by date, and basically you will select a time frame from which date you would like all of your invoices to be displayed here. So from this is your starting date, and the second option here is to, which is actually your ending date. And according to this, you can actually display the invoices by date, or actually you can go and display the orders by status. And there's quite a few statuses here, and you can actually select one or many of these, and basically you have the number of the available invoices if you select that particular option. So if I go payment error and delivered, and for example waiting check payment, I can hit on this particular button here, which will actually generate a file, a PDF file by status. And if I do that, it will actually, as the name suggests, generate a PDF file where all of my invoices are awaiting check payment, delivered, and payment error will be displayed. So it's a nice way of actually creating a PDF file which then you can print or you can save and actually have that in your record. Also, you can come down here and you can actually go up here and click on generate PDF file by date, and this will actually create a PDF file which will have all of the orders from this particular date to this particular date here. So basically you have two options, by date or to actually go by status, and you have the option to create a PDF file by date or by status. Okay, down the bottom you'll have the invoice options. The very first one is whether or not to enable the invoices. Then you have enabled the breakdown of the taxes on the invoices, yes or no. When we move into the taxes, we'll see what this actually means. Then you have some prefix for the invoice, so this is something that you can insert or you can leave it as it is. Invoice number, the invoice number, so basically this is the first number that the very first invoice will have. So for example, if you do not want to start from 0 and you would rather start from 1,000 for some reason, you can actually put that in there. Then you have the footer text, and this is the text that will appear at the bottom of the invoice. You have the invoice model, and basically you can choose between the invoice or invoice business to business here. Use this as catchy for PDF invoice, yes or no. Okay, then there's the save button here, and once you actually hit on save, this will actually save all of your changes here. A lot of times you will actually like to keep a record of merchandises or the products that have been actually returned, and there's actually the option here under the orders which you can actually open up, and here you'll find merchandises which have been returned. I currently have no records, so nothing's been returned, and then I have some options here as well. So whether or not I would first of all like this to be enabled, so whether or not I would like to accept returns, and the actual time limit of validity, so how many days after the delivery date does the customer have to return a product. So basically you can set up to whatever number of days you would like this to be, and this is something that you have to obey. So for example, if you put 7 days here and the customer receives a product and they don't like it for some reason, within the 7 days of the delivery they can actually return that particular product or merchandise. At the moment I have set as no. If I hit on yes, this will now actually mean that I actually accept the returns. The delivery slips is something that's following the merchandise returns, and basically like before we have the print the PDF delivery slips from date to date, and actually we can generate the PDF file here. Okay, and then we have some options. We have the prefix delivery, so whatever you would like to put it here, and the delivery number. Basically this is the same as before. If for some reason you do not want to start from 1, you can put 5,000, and then the next slip will be 5001 and so on. So it's actually going to increase for that particular number. This is your starting point. Then we come to the credit slips, and here once again you'll find all your credit slips. Here you'll find the ID, order, date issued, the PDF. Currently I have none. I can actually print a PDF from date to date, and then I have the actual credit slip prefix. So there isn't a lot here that you can actually change or do, but this is a nice way of actually keeping record of your credit slips. The statuses is the next option here, and basically you'll find all of your statuses right here. Okay, so the very first table displays 12 statuses. Moving down you have the actual return status, and there's 5 of those. So once again there's the ID, there's the name of the status, there's a particular icon, and a couple of options here. You can always go and add a new order state, and you can actually add a new status here. Okay, so what does this actually mean? Basically, once you create a new status, you will give it a name, you would choose an icon. Now there's a couple of options here. The first one is actually send email to customer, so you can enable or disable this. So if I'm, for example, awaiting a check payment, I would like my customer to know, hey, when you're gonna send me the actual check payment, the delivery, when this has actually been delivered, and the invoice. Now you can change this, so basically if you would like to send an invoice out to your customers once the check payment has been received, you would enable this. Email template, you can choose for this particular status. The chosen template is a check. Once again there's the 2 edit buttons like we have seen before, the big edit and the small edit. If you click on the small edit, you can actually delete, and if you hit on the big edit, and this is something that we're going to do in one of the other tutorials, you can actually open this particular status and change some of the actual settings for that particular status. Like I said, there's quite a lot of those, and in fact there's 12, and you can create many more if you would like. You would change the color, you will change the icon, you will change those little properties here, and you will actually select a template email which is to be sent. Okay, moving down, we'll come to the return status, and this is something we have just previously seen, and the same procedure applies. You would actually go and you can create new return statuses, and basically you can add new and you can edit the pre-existing ones. Okay, the last option under the orders menu is actually order messages. Okay, so basically this is something that you would send to your customers like an order message. So for example, I have one order message here, and I've named the delay, and it's actually saying, hi, unfortunately an item you order is currently out of stock. Okay, so this is something that I will be using to actually message my customers, and like before, I can actually add a new order message here, or just follow this link here, or I can just edit that as well. Hitting on the right hand edit, I can just delete it. So basically this is, let's say, a template for the messages that you would like to send to your customers. In this particular case, this message actually is saying that an item that this particular customer has ordered is actually out of stock. So the orders menu will give you a lot of different options where you can actually follow the orders, you can follow the actual payments, and you can follow the invoices, the return products, the delivery slips, the credit slips, and the statuses. You can adjust all of this. So basically, if I go, for example, into the statuses, you can adjust all of the statuses to actually reflect on your orders right here. And then when you're actually creating new orders, you will actually select the status that you have made before. So just like when we had the categories and the products, you would put products in different categories. In this case, you will have different orders, and you can actually select different statuses for those orders. So that's pretty much it on the orders menu available within the PrestaShop.